Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai 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 Gauranga, Gaura Hari.
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 Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari.
Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari.
Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari.
Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari.
Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana,
Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana,
Jaya Sachinandana, Nitai Gauranga is such a favorite kirtan.
So sweet and so fun.
It's so much fun, and it can go on forever actually. So this beautiful rag, of course, this beautiful melody, of course, is in honor of Nitai Gauranga. And so Nitai Gauranga, what is the meaning of this mantra? And Nitai is a combination of two words, Nitya and Ananda. And so Nitya means eternal, without beginning or end. And Ananda is bliss. So Nitai is eternally blissful, right? And Gauranga means the anga, the one with golden limbs, Gaura. But it's talking about a form of Krishna, but in his state of relishing kirtan, relishing this mantra experience. And within the experience of the mantra is all the scope of love, sringara. So it's loving union, loving separation. It's all the complete experience of love itself. And this is the mood of Chaitanya. So every avatar has a reason for coming, and sometimes multiple reasons. And the external reason was to start this Sankirtan.
Singing and dancing.
Singing and dancing, because we're so hopeless in this age. All we can do is sing and dance. We can't do many sophisticated things, but we can sing and we can dance. And it's very joyful, and of course it's very community oriented. So Sangha, as we know, is we come together in community, right? Sometimes we have satsangs where we come together and speak the truth, right? So Sangha, we come together. And Kirtan is the call and response singing of mantras. It's mantra meditation, but in a joyful, musical way. So Sankirtan is coming together to do this chanting and dancing experience together. And honestly, it doesn't matter how terrible a day I've had, if we manage to do some kirtan together, somehow the day is a success. You know how sometimes you get up in the morning and you do some exercise and then you think, it doesn't matter what happens for the rest of the day, that day is a success. So that's the same with kirtan. No matter what happens throughout the day, if you manage to do just a little bit of kirtan, it is so mood elevating that the day is a success. So this is the Sankirtan, and this is the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came to teach this congregational chanting, but also had an inner mood, an inner, if you like, an inner reason for coming, not just an external reason, but an internal reason. And that internal reason was to, for God, to relish the mellows of what it is like to love God. So imagine if you have the experience of loving another entity, but now you want to know, what is it like for that entity to love me? And so this is God stepping outside of God's self, relishing that love. It sounds a little esoteric, and it is, but if you think that love has so many points of view and has so many flavors, it's yet relishing another flavor. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the embodiment of the love between Radha and Krishna. So it is that Madhurya Leela. So there's no Aishvarya, there's no awe and reverence. There is just sweet, intimate love with the divine. And that's such a beautiful thing to meditate on. So when we're chanting Nitai Gauranga, we want to meditate on the mellows of love itself, the heights and the depths of love, and divine love, love in its most divine form. So that is Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga.
And they started in Mayapur, didn't it?
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, most of his pastimes were in what today is now West Bengal, but also in Odisha, in Jagannath Puri. So the first half of his life was spent as either a young student or in pilgrimage, but the second half of his life was spent in Jagannath Puri, where he took sannyas and had so many ecstatic experiences with the deity of Jagannath, which is very apropos because Jagannath himself, with his wide eyes and his contracted limbs, this is the Mahabhava Prakash. This is the form of God in ecstatic separation. So again, so you have a manifestation of God experiencing and exhibiting this mood of God in front of God. So there again, it's that sense of the multi-leveled esoteric experience of love and experiencing love.
And you can see right now on the screen a picture of Jagannath Puri. That's one by day and the other one is by night.
Oh, and the one behind us is by night, yes. So a couple of days ago we also had the disappearance, forgive me, of Ramananda Roy. So this is a personality that was one of the important personalities during Gauranga Leela. So Gauranga Leela, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It happened in the 15th and 16th centuries. It sort of straddles those two centuries, so late 1400s to mid 1500s. And especially during the Jagannath Puri era of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic appearance, Ramananda Ray was a very ecstatic personality who was one of Chaitanya's best friends or intimate associates, where they would come together and they would discuss all the mellows and relish the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in intense separation being in Jagannath Puri, and he was in so much separation from Krishna in Vrindavan. But this was appropriate because Jagannath is in separation from all the residents of Vrindavan, in separation from Radharani and all the gopis. And interestingly, Ramananda Roy is a Gaura Leela incarnation of Vishaka Devi, who is one of the gopis, one of the most intimate best friends of Radharani, the goddess of love. And she's very instrumental in facilitating the pastimes between Radha and Krishna. So, there's this running joke, whenever God manifests, God brings his posse of friends, but each time he manifests, these friends play different roles. So in Vrindavan Leela, there's Vishaka Devi, but in Gaura Leela, Vishaka Devi is Ramananda Roy, right? And Lord Chaitanya in Vrindavan Leela is Radharani. And in Gaura Leela, it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experiencing the love as one devoted to God. So what is that feeling of being the bhakta that is relishing pastimes with God? So that's why we put up the picture behind us of Jagannath Puri, because we're singing Nitai Gauranga, and so we are celebrating Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and also celebrating his great friendship with Ramananda Roy, who just was his disappearance day 2 days ago. And of course that changes every year, because in the West we're on the solar calendar and these dates are in the lunar calendar. So, but it happened to be 2 days ago. So also very appropriately, the rag that we're singing is Kafi Raag. And Kafi Raag is a newer rag. So we have some very ancient rags like Bhairav and Bhairavi. These are thousands of years old. So old that there's no proof of who first invented them. And there's sort of two dueling schools that say, one says that Surya, the sun god, created Bhairav, and the other school says that Shiva, the great maha Bhairav himself, Shiva, created Bhairav. And I tend to agree with them because it's called Bhairav, so it must be Shiva. And so this rag is created many thousands of years ago, but something like Kafi first made its appearance approximately 500 years ago during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And historians first found writings of Kafi Raag within the papers, if you like, of a great court musician called Lochana Pandit, who was in the Kandwala dynasty as the court musician, and he wrote the Rag Tarangini, a sort of an opera theatrical piece, and this was in Kafi Raag. But then so many of the melodies that we sing in this sort of kirtan movement are in some variation of Kafi.
That's good.
Okay, but one thing to say is, whereas with other rags, they're very strict in how they move, with Kafi there's a lot of allowance, and it's considered a shudra rag, and we're all shudras in this day and age, we're all laity, common folk, and so normally when you change something in a rag, that rag becomes mishra or mixed. But it's understood that there will be so many allowances in the pursuit of the pleasure of the rag. There are so many allowances. So most Kafi is mixed. So there's no need to call it mishra Kafi. Just by virtue of being Kafi, it is mixed these days.
Yes, and you can see the sargam on the screen. So we're gonna go up and we're gonna go down. Aarohi and Amrohi.
So as you can see from the sargam, it's the jati is sampurna sampurna, and what that means is there are 7 notes going up and 7 notes coming down. When there is a komal note or a flat note, it is written in lower case. So sa, re, these are shuddha swaras, so they're natural. Ga and ni are in lower case, so they're flat. Pa is a movable. Sa and pa, they're never flat, they're never sharp, they're always expressed naturally. But ma, you might notice, is in lower case. And the reason for that is ma is always a half step from ga. So even when it's natural, it's in lower case. But ma can be expressed in a sharp variation, which is called tivra ma, and that's when you write it in uppercase. And sometimes you put a chevron over it. But in any event, you can write it with a capital letter. So that's to explain how it's written there. So let's go over it.
So slowly.
Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, la, ni, sa, ni, da, ma, re, sa. So there's that sliding from ma to ga. Okay, let's do that again. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, la, ni, sa, ni, la, ma, re, sa.
One more time.
Do you do akar or sargam?
Sargam.
Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, la, ni, sa, ni, la, re, sa. So this is a very common phrase of Kafi. So Kafi, every rag has the mood, right? What is the mood of Kafi? So the mood of Kafi is sringara or divine love, and it is restless. It's considered restless. So it is both love in union and love in separation, but divine love. And let's see what else about Kafi. It is the time of day, the best time of day for Kafi is 9 p.m. to midnight. And it's also called the Bhairavi of the night for some reason. I don't know why. The Bhairavi of the night. And so many of the Kirtan classics are in Kafi Raag. So as we start thinking about how to sing this Kirtan again, right? So what are the elements that we want to pull in, right? So what are some things we should meditate on?
Infinite bliss.
Okay, infinite bliss. What is the rasa of the rag? Sringara, right? Divine love in union and separation. And also the celebration of chanting and dancing together, and also celebrating deep friendships like between Ramananda Roy and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where we come together and within our friendship we elevate each other and we talk about so many transcendental subject matters. We relish the mellows, right? So it's a celebration of that, and it's a celebration of being eternally blissful. Nitya Ananda.
Yes, let me put that mantra on the screen so you can read it and sing along. So repeat after me at home. Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga.
Gaura Hari.
Gaura Hari.
Jaya Sachinandana.
Jaya Sachinandana.
You got it. Very good.
And so we love to share these kirtans, and so we'd love you to go to our YouTube channel, Krishna Kirtan Music on YouTube. You can look it up, Krishna Kirtan Music with Sri and Joakin, and that way our channel will come up. So smash like and click the bell for notifications, and then that way whenever we've got a new kirtan coming out, you can hear it. And our classes, 7 p.m. Sydney time on a Wednesday, tends to be around 10-11 for Europe, and we also have one for Los Angeles, 7 p.m. on a Wednesday night for the Americas. And with that in mind,
let's sing.
meditating on divine love. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga.
Bolo. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga.
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 Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari.
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, also Ramananda Ray. And thanks for tuning in.
Yes. So once again, for all of you, thank you for listening. Thank you so much for singing with us. It's an absolute pleasure. And once again, if you'd like to join us on Zoom with our friends on Zoom, please email us at the email that I'm going to put on the screen. Is krishnakirtanmusic@gmail.com with your first and last name and the reason why you would like to join in. We will need to make sure you are a legitimate person, not a robot. And once again, if you like to support what we do and these Kirtan recordings, we welcome your support at paypal.me/Krishna Kirtan Music and at patreon.com/Krishna Kirtan Music. And you help us with our goal to record 108 different versions of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
And the beautiful thing about Patreon is that, it can seem like, a lot to give here and to give there, but this is like you can just quantify your things. So it could be $5 a month. It could be $10 a month. So there are different increments, and it's just whatever you can give, because we understand everybody's in a different situation. But we just love to keep the kirtan available for everybody, and also just to keep the ability to come together and to chant and dance together.
Yes, and once again, the link on YouTube is youtube.com/C/Krishna Kirtan Music, and it is on the screen. Please subscribe and enjoy all of the recordings that we are offering. And please, if you're on Zoom, stick around. We're gonna say goodbye to everybody on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, and we love you. Thank you. Haribol.
Haribol.